Welcome back to the Global Business Report. The rising rate of unemployment in Nigeria has continued to elicit concerns from all sides, especially as it threatens the country's efforts to be among the 20 largest economies of the world by the year 2020. Unemployment rate currently stands at 23.1%, having risen from 6.4%. Youth unemployment, in particular, is now as high as 29.7%. These trends have emerged as the Nigerian economy struggles to recover from a 2016 recession and amid government efforts to create jobs through programs like the N-PAR scheme. And to react to this issue, I'm joined by Michael Famoroti, partner STAERS. It's good to have you with us, Michael.
Pleasure to be here as always.
Yeah, very worrying, statistics there. Are these unemployment figures as bad as they stand?
Yeah, they are. It's hard to argue against them. I think beyond the headline number, right, we have a couple of hidden issues in unemployment. The first one I'll point out is the youth unemployment, which we're familiar with and was mentioned in the intro. But the two other sort of issues that I think are important right now. One is gender, in that women are almost twice as likely to be unemployed as men. And then there's a skills issue in that in Nigeria, you're more likely to be unemployed if you're a graduate than if you're not a graduate, right? So the graduate unemployment rate is about 30%, and the average rate is about 23%, right? So those give us further insights into the type of problem that we're dealing with.
Indeed, but in a way, we've seen more women in leadership positions in the private sector, managerial positions as well, and also entrepreneurs, as it were. But be that as it may, I think their numbers are few far in between. Now, where do we start from in tackling this problem of high unemployment, you think?
I think probably, as always, when you're dealing with a problem, you want to understand the source, right? And I believe that Nigeria's unemployment has two main sources.
Okay.
One is structural. Structure in the sense that there is a mismatch between the individuals that are entering the labor market and the types of skills that are required to make Nigeria one of the top 20 countries in the world. And that is a problem that has existed for almost 2 decades, but was hidden by the fact that for a long time in the 2000s, we were able to sell oil and grow by 6 or 7%, but you realize that we weren't actually creating jobs during that period. And addressing that structural problem is the primary challenge here. Beyond that, I think there's a cyclical concern in that there's not enough demand in the economy to generate or justify more jobs, right? So say there are about 500,000 graduates coming in each year. There are only about 100 to 200,000 new jobs being created, right? And that is a gap that you cannot fix until you have an economy that is growing fast enough to demand or generate more jobs, right? So identifying those problems will help us begin to chart solutions in terms of how to fix them.
All right, Michael, still a grim reality when it comes to employment situations in Nigeria. Now, what are the short and long-term solutions to Nigeria's unemployment problem?
Okay, I think this is one of the situations where the short and long-term solutions are pretty similar. I'm skeptical of low-hanging fruit schemes like the N-PAR program because I see that as an attempt to create jobs by force, right? So if I really wanted to, I can create 10 jobs today, right? Essentially, I pay people to do something, right? Now, whether those jobs are sustainable depends on whether there's a genuine need and demand in society. And I think a lot of the schemes bypass that and essentially assume that as long as you are paying people to perform a task, you have provided them a job. Really, you haven't. So the short and long-term solution is to get this economy growing again. The only sustainable way out of this problem is for the Nigerian economy to be growing by a minimum of, say, 7 or 8% a year, right? So that is a reality that we must accept. But even when the economy is growing, we can be clever about which areas we prioritize, right? So for example, the manufacturing sector has proven time and time again in different countries, like China, like Germany, like Japan, and even Europe in the 1900s, it has shown that you are able to create a lot of jobs in that sector, right? So if we can develop our manufacturing base, which at present is less than 10% of the economy, if we can do that, then we have a decent shot of creating the millions of jobs needed, right? At the same time, we're entering the fourth industrial revolution, and it's important that we're preparing our graduates for that economy, right? And that means picking up skills or teaching them skills that are going to be relevant in the future, not things that have been relevant in the past, right? And I think that is an area where the Labour Ministry is still not thinking far enough about, because we are still not prepared for that, economy of the future, right? And once we begin to solve that problem, it may take time, but say in 2020, 2040, then you have graduates and workers that are able to meet the demands of the economy and also to meet global demand.
Yeah, so consistency is key here.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, realistically, government can't provide jobs for everyone, but is it proactive in creating an enabling environment for entrepreneurship to thrive, as it were?
I think it's shown intent, right? It's shown clear intent. I think the problem has been the intent has manifested, in my view, in missteps, and the precise policies chosen have actually been detrimental, right? So an example I'll use is the focus on protectionism in trade, right? And trying to restrict Nigerians from importing items under the guise that, you want your local industries to grow.
To thrive
now,
and
in theory, that's fine. The problem is that the way those industries have been selected has more political than economic reasons.
All right.
And even when you restrict industries, you then need to make sure that you're providing an environment for the local side to grow, which we haven't done, right? So now I can't import milk, but can a local farmer or manufacturer really go into that sector and begin to produce there, right? When you look at the cost of business, bureaucracy, and so on, it becomes clear that actually those are the precise hurdles that they should be fixing.
Indeed, Michael. Michael Famoroti of our partner STAERS, I'd like to thank you very much for the unemployment, your thoughts on those issues. Good to have you with us.